Welcome to another episode of 123 Credit Tea, where we gossip about everything credit. My name is Francis, credit expert and senior credit consultant with 123creditconsultant.com. All right. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about Tradelines. You guys like to purchase Tradelines to help you boost your credit, to do all kind of stuff with your credit. I'm sure you've heard about Tradelines on Facebook, Instagram, social media, YouTube, Google, everywhere. Everybody's talking about Tradelines to help you boost and build your credit. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about what a Tradeline is, what it's not, what authorized users are, and we're going to talk a little bit about what happens if you get a Tradeline to build your credit from the wrong person. Now, keep in mind that you can always join our show by applying to join our virtual studio audience by clicking on the link associated with this video somewhere in the description. Okay, you'll be able to RSVP to come on live to be a part of our live studio audience, where you're able to ask questions during our Ask a Credit Consultant segment. And of course, you can enjoy behind the scenes things that's going on with the show as well. All right, so we're going to hop right into today's episode, and the show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so we're talking about Tradelines, and before we hop into the topic, of course, we have to do our credit news segment, where we're going to talk about a recent news article related to today's topic. So today we are looking at an actual article from the FBI New York division, where we were looking at 18 people charged in an international $200 million credit card fraud scam. And in the scam, they talked about how the people that were associated with this scam actually sold authorized user Tradelines to people to help them build their credit. So what exactly is a Tradeline? A Tradeline is pretty much another name for an account, okay? The people just use the word interchangeably to make it sound or hype it up or make it seem like it's something different than what it is. But the word Tradeline really just means account. But when people use the term Tradelines, they're usually talking about an account that you have to pay to be a part of. So if someone says, do you want to add a Tradeline to your credit? More than likely they're asking, do you want to pay for you to be able to get access to this credit line? So Tradeline is just basically another word for an account, right? Now, let's talk about what a primary user versus an authorized user is. So you have a credit card. Let's say I wanted to add you as an authorized user on my credit card. Highly unlikely, but let's just use that as an example, okay? Very unlikely, actually. Don't ask me. Let's start off right there. Don't have Tradelines available. Don't sell Tradelines. We don't do any of that. Okay. But we're gonna roll with the scenario. Okay. So let's just say that I wanted to add you on one of these cards. Okay. I was about to tell y'all how much the limit was, but we're gonna bypass that. But let's just say I wanted to add you to help you improve your credit. Maybe you never had credit report before. Maybe you can't get approved for credit, and you want to skip the struggle of being denied or going with a secure credit card by getting a higher limit credit card. So what happens is, as a primary person of the account, I would just call the credit card company and say, add such and such, whatever your name is that you're watching, to the credit card. And they will say, okay, what's their first and last name? What's their date of birth? And sometimes they may even ask me the last four of your social. What they will do is send you a card in the mail with your name on it that you can use to spend to go shopping or do whatever it is that you want to do, okay? But the end result, the whole purpose of that is for you to get that actual credit line reported on your credit report. So it will show that you have an American Express with a $50,000 credit line, with a balance of whatever my balance is, and with whatever my payment structure or history is, that will be on your credit report. So imagine, here it is, your low credit, right? You don't have any credit cards at all, and then all of a sudden, boom, you got $50,000 credit line, American Express. You balling. Okay, and so now your credit score gonna start going up. Obviously, you went from, starting from the bottom to now you here. So what you have to do, what you have to understand is that you actually get access to that credit line, the whole credit line. You get to use it how you want. Now the drawback to that is if I decide to not pay that credit card bill anymore, it's also going to be reflected on your credit report that I didn't pay the bill. If I pay late, it's going to be late on your credit. If I max the card out, it's going to be on your credit. You see where I'm going with this? So anything that happens with the primary user, it also happens on the authorized user's credit as well. Now, of course, you can always take yourself off. You can just call and say, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. They'll take you off. But that time that you were on that credit report with that account, that's still going to be on your credit report. It'll just probably say close. Okay. Now, if you're an authorized user and let's say my account goes to charge-off status, goes to collections, or I get sued for that account, that also is going to be equally happening to your credit as well. So you want to be careful who you do this whole authorized user process with. You want to do it with close family, real close family. Okay, like immediate family, like your people, not your cousin them. Okay, like your mama, maybe your baby mama, I don't know, depending on your relationship, maybe your baby daddy, depending on your relationship, your wife or your husband, yeah, of course. I guess depending on that relationship too. I don't know, I ain't in y'all life, but what I would say is do it with a close friend or a family member that is going to be responsible from the primary user perspective and from the authorized user perspective. It has to be a lot of trust going on from both sides. Okay. So if the primary user done lost their job, or they about to lose their job, or they bad with money, or they maxing out their card, or they're not paying, it's not beneficial for you to be a part of their credit card as an authorized user. Maxed out credit card, paying late, all that stuff is going to reflect on your credit too. You might as well just start off with a little 500 rinky-dink limit and start from there. Then to be having month after month late payments on your credit report because of somebody else. Okay? So don't get caught up on getting added on a $50,000 card, but the person maxing it out and paying late. You could be doing better with a $200 credit card, paying on time with a low balance. Okay? So don't play yourself thinking the more the limit, the better it is. No, it's based off of how you use that card. And clients who are enrolled in our credit improvement service, they learn these different techniques and these different things that we talk about as we go throughout the program. They work one-on-one with the credit consultant, and we teach them different things about credit, how to use the card, how it affects their credit, and different things like that. So it's not just us sending disputes out on your credit. You're also learning about credit as you go. So we talked about primary user on a credit card. We kind of talked about an authorized user on a credit card. Now let's talk a little bit about how that works into Tradelines. So let's say you met a random person, or you went to some website, or maybe you went on Craigslist. I don't know why you'd be on Craigslist trying to get credit help, but let's just say you did that, okay? Don't go on Craigslist, but let's just say you did, or just word of mouth, okay? And you ended up seeing someone says they can add you on a $50,000, $100,000, whatever, credit card for a fee. So they may say, hey, I'll add you on for $1,000 fee. I'll add you on for a $5,000 fee. That is considered pretty much purchasing a trade line, okay? That is not necessarily what the purpose was for the authorized user for a credit card company. So they don't actually want you to sell access to adding people to the credit card, okay? That I'm not going to speak to the legal part of it, okay, because I'm not a lawyer and I like to stay in my lane, okay? So law is not my lane. But what I will say is that think about this. If you have someone that adds you on a credit card that you don't know, you paid them $1,000, how are you 100% sure that that person has not added you onto a stolen credit card, or a credit card that's not your or not theirs, or a credit card of somebody else's? Okay, when we're talking about the fraud case that we put up during the credit news segment, that's pretty much what happened. They were adding people, they got access to this huge credit line using someone's stolen identity, and then they were charging folks to be added on as an authorized user. Well, guess what happens when the feds are coming to knock on the door, okay, and they're coming to see how these people's identity got stolen. They're pulling up the credit card records and they see your name on there as authorized user. They come and knocking on your door too, okay? And like I said before, bad credit is not really worth jail time. It's not that serious, y'all. Just do it the right way, okay? It's really not that serious. There is no shortcut that works. If it was a shortcut, then I would know about it, okay? And that's not one of them. So if you want to know what the shortcuts are, of course, you can schedule a consultation on our website, become a client, and we'll be able to kind of give you more information about what would work best for you, for your specific situation, without jail. That's the best way I could put it, okay? So we talked about primary user, we talked about authorized user, we talked about trade lines, and we talked a little bit about what happens when you get pay for trade lines, especially with the wrong person. Now, if you want to get approved for credit and you're having issues getting approved because you have bad credit, there are a bunch of different companies that will give you access to a credit line even with a low credit score. Now, keep in mind, you have bad credit. Okay, so these companies don't trust you. They're looking at your credit report. They see you didn't give American Express their money back, or they see that you didn't pay a $200 light bill. Okay, so they're not really going to be excited about giving you access to credit. So to help them minimize their risk, they're going to ask you for a down payment. They're going to ask you for a security deposit, and it's not going to be on, the best interest rate or terms. Okay, that's just the game. That's just what it is. You're in a situation right now that you have to prove yourself in order to get access to better credit lines, no down payments, and low interest rates. Okay, so you're going to have to put some money up in order to prove that you are going to do what it is that you say you're going to do. Now, the benefit here is hopefully you're not getting a credit line that's, a secure credit line that's a lot of money. Just put a couple $100 down and prove yourself over the next 6 to 12 months while you're fixing your credit, and you'll be good to go. Okay? So we're going to move on to our next segment of the show, which is our Ask a Credit Consultant segment. This is where I get to answer questions from our live studio audience and from our social media followers. Now, if you want me to answer your question, all you got to do is follow us on social media. 123 Credit is our social media on all platforms, and use hashtag Ask a Credit Consultant. During the show, I will pop out my phone from the back of the couch like this here, and I would check for the questions, okay? And then I'll just answer them randomly right on the show. So you never know, I might answer your question. So our question today is coming from Jasmine. Hello, Jasmine. And the question is it normal for Comcast cable to report to the credit bureaus? Is it normal? Yeah, it's normal. Okay, let me put it like this. Your utilities, like your credit card, your Comcast, your Dish Network, your internet bill, your household utilities typically do not report on your credit monthly unless you go delinquent. So if you stop paying, if you forgot to return the cable box when you moved out your old apartment, if you forgot to, pay the last month's bill at Verizon Wireless, they're going to put the unpaid balance on your credit report. And that just lets other creditors know that you did not hold up your end of the bargain to pay according to whatever contract it is that you signed with them. So is it normal? It's absolutely normal for them to do that if you are delinquent. Now, I'm not aware that they are reporting on everybody's credit from a month-to-month basis for people that pay on time, but I know for sure you can see them on your credit report if you haven't paid the last month's bill or if you owe them a balance. So thank you for your question. Hopefully that was helpful to you, and continue to watch the show. Alrighty? So, of course, I got to let y'all know my disclaimer, okay? Every episode, I give you guys free information, general information, purposes only, okay? So if you're wanting information for your specific credit situation, you want to head over to our website, 123creditconsultants.com, where you can schedule a free credit consultation and a free credit analysis. If we feel that you are a good candidate for our services, then we will offer you an opportunity to enroll at that time. And last but not least, I always got something free for you, okay, for watching. And today's free goodie is our credit score booster guide. Our credit score booster guide has been able to help people improve their credit score anywhere between 50 to 100 points, okay? So to get your free copy, all you have to do is go over to our website, 123creditconsultants.com/credit guide to download your free copy. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment to continue to support the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.